everybody, welcome to One Flight Down, a special episode. My first time having an in-studio guest, if you can call this a studio. If you've been watching my home brew series, this is episode 6. I'll link to all the other ones. And today I have Brewmaster Chris with me here, my own personal brewer. Well, maybe not, but I like to think he's my personal brewer right now, because this is like the 6th beer of his I'm going to try today. So, big round of canned applause for Christof Rampitsch, everybody. So, Chris, before we get into today's beer, do you just want to tell me a little bit about how you got into brewing and how long you've been doing it?
Oh, geez, I've been brewing for quite a long time, maybe 10 or so years seriously. Before that, just really at, they have these places where you go and they have everything weighed out for you and you're just kind of adding things without really knowing what you're doing. But you come out with something reasonably drinkable at the end of it.
Okay.
So a place like that. But then about 10 years ago, I got serious.
Okay.
So,
and what tweaked that? What got you...
I don't know. I've always wanted to. And then I guess a good friend of mine, Philip, kind of pushed me over the edge of the fence.
Okay.
I would say. Yeah.
Okay. And so you follow like mostly traditional recipes? Is that like most of the ones I've done that you've brought over to me have been pretty traditional recipes, right?
Yeah, I really like the ales. I really like the British beers, but I've dabbled in lagers and stuff like that as well.
And lagers are tough to do, right?
Yeah, because of the temperature control.
Right.
It's a real bugger. Yeah.
That porter you did was amazing. That porter, I could drink that all day.
I should have brought you another one.
That was like probably they've all been really good. That's probably my favorite thing that we did. But today we're looking at something I've been building up to this, because this is a style of beer I've never heard of. And when Chris told me about this, I knew I had to get him on here, because I was not going to do this story justice. So how did you what is this beer and how did you come about?
Well, I've always been interested in farmhouse beers. Most of these are Belgian and French, and rummaging around the internet, I came across Norwegian farmhouse and Scandinavian in general, but Norway in particular. And I stumbled across a blog, and actually a blog by Lars Marius Garsol, and turns out he had written a book, and so I went and got that book for Christmas, and it's just a rabbit hole. It's unbelievable.
And you got the book here?
I've got the book right here. I'm not plugging it. I don't know Lars at all, but it's a really good read. It goes all over Scandinavia, even into Russia. And,
and they've got a pretty different brewing scene over there from the sounds of it. Yeah.
I had no idea. Because I suppose none of this is really commercially available.
Okay.
So, or at least certainly not here.
Not yet, anyway. Now that this book is out, that could change that. There's so many craft breweries now. Everyone's got to be looking for an angle that no one else is doing, right?
Absolutely.
So
but interestingly enough, there's an outfit in Guelph that makes all the yeast for this, and that's available at your local brew store. So that's really good, and it seems to be the exact same yeast strains that are being used in this book.
Okay.
So that's kind of weird, but good.
And what kind of yeast is that then?
It's called kveik.
Kveik. Okay. And you worked with that, and it was a little different than the other yeasts.
It was a little different. It was if kveik means quick in Norwegians, then it was very quick.
Okay.
It ferments at very high temperature, like 30 degrees, and in fact they tell you not to control the temperature. And, It's more. It had more the kind of vibe of a bread yeast, really.
Okay, but like all the other beers, or most of the other beers that you gave me to try, they seemed very temperature controlled. Like you
very much so.
And this is not that.
No, this is not that. And from pitching the yeast to drinking the beer took 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days. Wow. Compared to what? Like how long would say the English bitter or like the porter?
That would be the porter would have been a good 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it has to get primed. And so, a month can elapse before you're enjoying that.
Okay, so days.
Days.
Wow. Okay, and that's because of this yeast.
That's very much partly because of this yeast, yeah. And I guess it was brewed at the time to feed laborers.
Okay.
You know, it was a good way to rehydrate and somewhat feed farm laborers.
Okay.
And they brew. I mean, most of the recipes in this book are for 150 liters.
Wow.
Which is far more than I.
Yeah, yours was how much?
Consumed. It was 5 gallon bag, so 20 liters.
Okay.
And even that was a lot.
So
as you'll see.
They're making for an army then.
Oh yeah, they're swimming in this stuff.
Okay, and you had told me some of the ingredients you were going on that 150 liter.
Well, yeah, kind of. I certainly overdid the juniper. There's a lot of juniper in this, and it's not just the berries; it's the actual wood.
Okay.
And they even tear open the thicker branches to get a lot of that stuff out, and it's not boiled in that, but the water is steeped in that to make kind of like a juniper tea.
Okay.
And then you brew with that. But I really overdid it, as you shall see.
And is that why you chose this one? Is because of the juniper? Because that's a pretty
Yes,
odd
absolutely.
ingredient in beer, right?
Most of the Norwegian ones seem to have some juniper in them.
Okay.
And it was definitely a push too.
All right. And it wasn't boiled, you said, at all in the process.
This beer
right?
is not boiled at all at any time.
Wow, okay.
And as I was explaining to you earlier, it's likely because they didn't have metal tons back, 200-300 years ago.
Okay.
So they used just wooden vessels, and they couldn't boil. So.
Okay. So this is a beer that people in Norway would have been drinking like a couple hundred years ago.
That's correct.
With an extra juniper kick.
Yes.
And where did you get the juniper branches? Did you
I got them in the White Shell. I drove out there and went on a hike and
nice.
And picked some junipers.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
do you want to do the honors and crack that open up on the
Is
wall
the
there?
chilled one? Okay.
That's the chilled one. Yeah.
All right.
There we go. All right. Let's pour this out.
And interestingly, I did not prime this at all, and it is
Yeah, that's
bubbling nicely. And
yeah, a little bit of
steamhole.
gun smoke on there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say what my dad always said. You're the first guest I've had in studio. My dad always said whenever we had guests in the house, I'll pour your first drink, but after that, you're on your own. So. I imagine there's probably a bit of sediment on the bottom of this, so we don't want to pour it
Don't
all
get too
out,
much
right?
of that.
Yeah. There might be branches or something in there.
Spiders. You never know. Oh, not too much of that.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it was. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, oh yeah, I got a little
Yeah, you
bit
got
of
a fair
chunkies
bit
in
of
mine,
chunkies.
but
Yeah. Oh,
they're
yeah.
settling.
You can certainly smell the
Oh, you really can. Wow.
but in a good way, really, eh?
That is unusual. Like that doesn't smell like a beer at all.
No.
It's like almost. I thought it would smell more like straight gin or something, but there's even like a little bit of
Like forest floor, basically.
yeah, like a smoky feel to it or something. Well,
Cheers.
let's go in for a sec. Wow, that is strong.
But not bad, eh? Not
It's
in a
not
bad
bad.
way. Yeah, it's just not like it's not what you would expect from a beer.
No, I mean
Yeah.
it's got like the body of a beer, but it's just so like, yeah, my tongue is like dancing around right now. It reminds me of something, and I just can't think what it is. Like, it reminds me of. It reminds me of like my dad's old pipe smoke for some reason.
Really smoky, eh?
Yeah, it's
I'm not getting smoky. I'm getting a lot of wood.
Yeah, like an earthy
Yeah,
kind of a
earthy,
feel.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really strong.
I mean,
But I was expecting with all the juniper that would be like almost like drinking straight gin or something. But it doesn't
Right,
really
yeah.
taste like gin. You do taste that in there, but it's not
Well, it's not
all
the
it
berries.
is, right?
It's not the berries. It's the wood.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, mix it with a little bit of
Right, so you said we should mix this with something fairly bland. It's a regular old beer.
Right, and so for the blandest of the bland, I'm gonna
All
mix it
right.
with this. Yeah, I'll let you do the honors.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice crack on there. And how much? Like the ratio 50-50?
Yeah,
or?
let's start with that,
Okay.
and then you can always add a bit more.
Wow, that's really bubbling up. It's like a science experiment. I got better pour on mine than yours, but
Yeah, I got a bit of it. Oh well.
I think you need a little more though to make it kind of a half and half thing, right? So mine's pretty close to half and half.
Hey, so now try that.
All right, cheers. Oh, that's really nice. That's like
It really mildens it down here.
yeah,
Yeah.
You still get that kind of earthy taste to it, but it's like yeah, it's just not so overpowering. And the like this has I always found this beer had a little bit of a fruitiness to it, and I think that kind of
Well,
balances
maybe.
it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like a beer cocktail or something. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's definitely now more beery than it was before.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it kind of had the body of a beer to begin
Yeah,
with, but the
yeah.
taste was like, it didn't taste like a beer at all. It was just like this weird, unusual thing that I've never had before.
And this is what I think I should aim for.
Yeah.
Just use less juniper. Do it again, but with less juniper.
Okay, so you're going to make this beer again?
Oh, for
You
sure.
figure? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I guess whenever you want to do it, you just like, do I want to drink this in 5 days? And you'll do it then, right? It's not like you have a long process to do it. Now you, like the last time one I did was you did like a special beer for Christmas time. Would you do? Would you venture this far as like to give us gifts at Christmas, or is this a little too like?
I'd have to taste it first.
You'd have to kind of perfect it a
Yeah.
bit, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't want my reputation to go down with this.
That's it's definitely way more just easygoing right
Yeah,
now with this,
yeah.
with it cut a bit like that.
Quite pleasant now, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas I think before it would be the kind of thing that if I was out in a brewery, like if you had your own brewery in your house and you made me a flight of all your beers, that's about the amount of that I would want. Just like it's
Right.
you know,
I
to
agree.
have something a
I
little
agree.
different and just like
Yeah.
taste something new. But like I couldn't do a pint of that on its own.
Well, I made 20 liters of it, so
No, that's pretty good. So you're going to do this again. Do you have any other stuff you're working on in the next little while?
not really. I tend to brew a lot in the fall,
Okay.
and then through to about January or so,
Okay.
because it does generate a lot of heat in the house.
I guess, yeah. Well, you said you do some in your garage too when you want to chill it. Is that?
Yeah, that's really nice in winter. If it doesn't get too cold, the garage is at around 4 degrees,
Okay. Okay.
so it's very good for lagering.
Okay. And yeah, you said lagers are tough to do, and you're still going to try
Yeah,
it.
the temperature control is difficult because I don't have really. I just have a chiller that runs off cold water, so I got to keep that water really cold,
Okay.
which is much easier to do in winter.
Okay. So it's kind of funny, right? The lagers, the most sort of bland beer style out there, is the hardest thing to brew. I find that, yeah. I remember I used to do like brewing back in the early 90s, like just from kits and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I always found the lagers didn't turn out right. Some of the darker ones I did were really nice,
Yeah.
but just the lagers had like I don't know, it just had a weird taste to them. It didn't
Well,
quite.
the ales are very easy to do.
Yeah.
You know, to make a pale ale is very easy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll have to come and visit your space and
for
work
sure,
on a beer
for
with you at
sure.
some
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
I think
that
that would
would
be a
be
ton of
good,
fun.
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this fall sometime. Just
Mhm.
let me know when you're planning on brewing. I guess that's our show for today, and well, it ends this part of this series. That we started this, I've got other people going, I made beer, so the home brew series
right on.
will keep going.
Good.
And yeah, in a few months' time, maybe we'll do something at your place where we show
Sounds
how
good.
something is done. That could be a lot of fun. All right, cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Stay
Cheers.
safe, everybody. Cheers.
I'm tired and I need to go home.